How's it going, Bunny? How goes the dog petting sim? Did you figure out that problem you were having? You said you had, like, something wasn't moving right problem? Leaving to chill? Yeah, feel you there. Sometimes that's the right thing to do. I haven't been working on this much. Actually, last time I even looked at this was when I streamed a few days ago, because it's the same thing. You gotta, like, you work on it till you hit, like, this kind of saturation point, and then you just need to think for a while. And listening to Perturbator, finding some inspiration. Nice, nice. I don't know if I've ever heard of them. Maybe I did. Or maybe I think of Pendulum. I'll have to look them up. That's a band, I assume. Tonight here, I think I'm gonna screw around with the map editor. I sort of have 3 maps, but they're kind of fake, right? I just stamped these out to have certain dimensions while I was, like, writing the code that would do the camera tracking and stuff. I didn't actually put any, like, game design thought into these, so now I'm going to try to make a map with a bit of game design thought, albeit some very basic stuff for now. Check these guys out. I had that link open. I'm gonna check them out off stream because, like, I like having new albums and stuff to listen to while I work, especially if it's something like without lyrics. And it seems like there's no lyrics in this. Anything with lyrics, like, tramples my inner monologue or whatever, or, like, just my concentration. But yeah, just something like either instrumental or techno or whatever is, like, pretty good for no lyrics. Awesome. Yeah. That's pretty good for this kind of work. But yeah, I was going to take a crack at making, like, the first map of the game with actual level design thought going into it. And this is just going to be like a tutorial level with only a Hotline Miami adjacent. Okay, nice. I saw Peach's stream Hotline Miami, if I'm not mistaken. And I did like the soundtrack quite a bit to that. Perturbator did a track. Okay, nice. So, like, what is it? Vaporwave? Is that it? Retrowave? Vaporwave? Whatever. Yeah, I don't know either. There's, like, so many genres. It's, like, impossible to know anymore. Sounds good. So this is going to be, like, the first level, and as such, it's going to be, like, super simple, right? I just want the player to understand and inject the blurps into your ear holes. Same. I have, like, since I've started streaming, I've had the same Commodore 64 chiptune playlist that's, like, 10 hours or something. I kind of need to mix it up a little bit. But yeah, the kind of bleepy bloopy chiptune stuff is, like, pretty good for game dev, especially, like, retro game dev, in my opinion. Just feels right. I was looking, I went through a lot of those tutorials in that thing you recommended the other day. From the pixel artist guy. That was good stuff. That was good stuff. I still, like, am not ready to go and redo everything I've done because I need to reflect on it a bit more, but it brought some real clarity to what I'm trying to do. Even just him communicating about readability and you too in our DMs about this stuff. Like, I had kind of arrived at the conclusion that in Pico 8 I want to rely on blobs of color and not even attempt to be detailed. But now, having read that, I feel slightly more justified in that decision, whereas before I wasn't really sure what I was doing. I mean, of course, I still don't actually know what I'm doing, but I feel like it's not totally unjustified now anyway. So the first level here, like plot-wise, let's do something like this. The idea is going to be this is like a research facility or something, and this is where the machines come to life. So this is... Yeah, exactly. We're pattern recognition machines. That's exactly it. So the idea here is that this is like a secluded area in the woods. Whoops. And I just want enough interesting terrain for the player to make some discoveries about how things work, like movement modifiers and crap. I don't have a ton of space to work with. I want this to be one screen. Because again, let's see, I can actually start down there. These city tiles are just like boundary markers. Secret lab mode. Yeah, I definitely want a road. I definitely want. That's what I'm thinking. Like I want a road. So again, I need like 2 or 3 tutorial levels because of just the way I want to tutorialize the player. And really, all I want the player to learn in the first level is that there is terrain, and terrain has different, traversal costs and defensive bonuses and penalties, and I want the player to learn how to click the buttons and move units and stuff, right? And then in the second map, that's where I want to introduce the concept of balancing your unit power. And then by stage 3, like that's it. Like then it's game time, right? There's not really all that much I need to cover. Because again, it's a pick a weight game, right? I don't have space for a lot of complexity here. Let's do it like this. So that's kind of what I'm trying to tutorialize. Fairly simply. I think I like that. And this city... That's not real. Oh, here. Actually, let's do this. The other thing I want to do is actually just make like a real map for its own sake, kind of. I think I want that to be an intersection. Because I haven't done that yet, and I designed this tile set kind of academically, and now I want to see if my kind of academic idea works in reality. The only tiles I know I don't like are these city tiles, and I liked what you were showing me in Discord, some idea like that, because these are like there's minimalism, then there's like lazy, right? And this is just lazy. Well, one decision I made, which I think I like, is, again, because I'm working with, like, so few pixels here, what I think I want to do is avoid detail, and I want, like, the player to think they're looking at, like, a satellite view, right? Whereas, like, in Advance Wars and stuff, you'd see a cell, and there would be a tree. Here I want a wooded cell to be a forest, right? And granted, like in Advance Wars, there's kind of symbolic too, but I want to avoid... I want to be more like, I don't know, 50,000 foot view in my representation of stuff, just because I think that will be more readable in Pick a Weight. Most of the way there, okay. Yeah, I think so too, and I appreciate the feedback. Like the only thing I'm plainly dissatisfied with are the city tiles, because like, you know, if you look at this stuff, it's like, okay, yeah, that looks like trees, that looks like water, that looks like a road, it's a bridge. Well, what the hell is this gray square, right? That looks like garbage. I do like the portraits. I think the portraits mostly came out pretty good. So yeah, it's really just the cities that need to be overhauled. So let's see. These cities aren't real. These are just like... I'm gonna leave that just as a placeholder. Okay, yeah. I'll do that. I'll do that off stream because it'd be some back and forth and stuff, but I will do that. Yeah, that's a good idea. Because I'm not like strictly married to the top-down representation of things. I'm not. That's what I was thinking, but I'm not necessarily convinced that's the best approach. So let's see. I kind of feel like here. Let's give the player just a building, so they can see a building. So let's say the player starts from up there, and like, I don't know. I kind of like the moat idea, because if we're educating the player on terrain, we need them to see that they can't cross water. Because I don't think in this game I'm going to have like amphibious units or boats or flying units. I think it's just going to be strictly land-based, just due to the takeaway constraints, you know? Because I'm already pushing my luck in terms of what I'm going to fit in this cartridge. So let's see. And let's say, here, I'm going to just... Can I do that? No. I don't know why I can't do that, actually. Why can't I do that? I guess 0-0 is like implicitly a... Tile 1 is a eraser for a map square. Okay, okay, I appreciate that. That, I guess, makes sense. This isn't how I initialize units anyway, but I, like in code, this isn't how it works, but... Let me just put down some, like, kind of symbolic placeholders. Yeah, no, I get what you mean. I get what you mean. Let's pretend that we had maybe 3 units here or something. Seems fine, right? And then, I don't know. Maybe I just turn this whole thing into... You recognize this one? I don't know what this one is, but yeah, they're all like Commodore 64 tunes. Did you ever see 64? I did when I was a kid. That was actually my first computer. Commodore 64 had some pretty good games, in my opinion. I'm gonna use this as our boundary marker. I'll back out of that. I don't need a boundary there. The reason... Born in 87. Okay, fair enough. I'm 83. So yeah, I grew up on a Commodore 64. The reason, by the way, that I'm like standing off a few squares here is because of how this nav bar sits. I don't want like stuff that matters by this nav bar. Actually, I should move everything down one though. It's like, yeah, so this is gonna be like a one screen map, dead ass simple. I was thinking about, do I write code such that if the cursor goes behind this info bar or hide the info bar, all this I don't think I want to deal with that. And again, I really don't think I'm going to have the token space to do that. I think what I need to do is just don't put map there and call it a day. Or at least don't put map there that like matters, right? I do want to continue this road through here because I want the illusion to work, but I don't want critical information there. Some more. Let's move all this. I also made some just dumb hack to make the game load on map 4 while I'm designing this, because this is like laid out sort of semi-sequentially now, but again, none of this means anything. What I think I'm gonna do is like just lay all this crap out, and I don't know if I'm even gonna bother to try to lay it out like in order in which the maps appear in the game, because ultimately that doesn't even matter. I don't know. I may do it late, if I do it at all, just because I'm kind of anal about that kind of thing, but I don't actually know if I even care. Where does that line up? Okay. So let's just know that that road is actually the bottom. And let's just like put some trees in or whatever. I'm kind of happy with how I designed these tree tiles and stuff. Oh fuck. Just rough that out. I have like 3 types of tiles. Tiles that form a big circle, interior and exterior. Tiles that form a small circle, interior, exterior. And tiles that just like deform the surface of a flat shape. And that allows me, I think, to produce some relatively organic looking tiles. Do coast. I'm thinking of putting water around here or something, so there's going to be a bit of coast, because we definitely need to demonstrate to the player that water is impassable. And I also want the player to have the opportunity to both, I guess, to fight everywhere, to fight on the road, to fight in the hills, the trees. Maybe it'd be cool to have like kind of 2 phases to this fight. There'd be like a skirmish up here where you gotta blow up some guys and then take over the bridge and blow up some other guys. That could be cool, because then you'd learn like defensive modifiers, right? Then you funnel them. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. So there's gonna be a bridge somewhere here. Let me just like can I even do this? Maybe I don't care about this. I guess I can't do this. Or wait, it would look like this. That looks like shit. Backing out of that. Don't care. Don't care, don't care, don't care. And let's like assume we want a small unit count, right? Because it's the first map, and we want the player to have a numerical advantage because they're going to be really, presumably inefficient, right? They're going to be bad at playing. So let's say 3 versus 5 or 6. I'm gonna have to like make all these maps and then tweak them when I have one player AI in, because I don't know how good it's actually going to be. Like if I do an incredible job somehow with the AI, I would want it to be like a fair fight numerically, 1v1. Realistically, I probably won't do an incredible job. I'd hope to do a competent job, so maybe it should be like 3-on-5 or something, player disadvantage, right? Or maybe because it's the first map, I don't care at all and give the player a numerical advantage, and then not even think about difficulty until later on. I don't like this being in the corner. Let's not like it matters. Let's bump that out. The corner just kind of bothers my eye. There's going to be a unit rendered here. We don't care about him. That looks fine. Messy up this shore a little. I'm gonna have to bump that out. How did I do this? Does this work? Be this? No, I don't think my tiles allow for this. Well, they kind of do. That looks not great. The downside of being able to express these kind of organic shapes is that you then kind of must express these organic shapes, because otherwise it just looks bad. Let's plan on bumping that down. And I'm gonna go back and make this less perfect. I'm just trying to rough out where stuff's gonna go. If I do that, gotta do this, but that's fine. So yeah, so maybe there should be like 2 phases. There should be like a wooded combat phase and then a like urban combat phase. And the urban combat, here these sort of represent cities, but sort of really represent like the base, right? The DARPA place or whatever, skunkworksy kind of place. Where the coasts would be, and then somewhere there needs to be a bridge. I'm kind of inclined to make this like snake through, like make the player take this kind of winding path like this or something, which would mean really you should like end up here. And I don't, yeah, so maybe this should be, maybe the water should be wider here, because I don't really want the player to be able to cheese this and use like long range attacks. I mean, maybe I don't care, but like the kind of intended strats. I could also just change the flow of this and make the player go down and over and up. That wouldn't be a terrible flow. But yeah, there needs to be like a fight in the open, a fight in the open and in the woods, a fight in the bridge, a fight in the city, you know, so a couple of different guys, right? Of bad guys, I mean. I think a big U pattern would just sort of be boring, so I think I'll avoid that. I think more interesting is something that snakes around more. I guess we just start by laying out the road. Because the road's gonna essentially demarcate the path the player would travel, the intended path. Well. Because the map is so small, I want to use the whole map. That's for sure. I definitely don't want, like, a big dead quadrant here or something. I wouldn't mind having, like, some kind of maybe optional sort of repair bay or something. Like, if you get really fucked up in an encounter, there's, like, a little haven of city you can retreat to. Because I don't know if I mentioned this or not, but you can repair in the cities in this game. So, these squares will be more than decoration. They have a purpose. So the player comes down, hits an impasse. I need this to either be mountain, or maybe I could just put a lot of woods there. Maybe just, yeah, let's pretend that we're gonna have a bunch of woods here. Because I don't want to, like, prohibit a player from going through here. I just want to disincentivize that action. So let's say we're gonna have a bunch of woods here. So the player would grab their units, travel down. Okay, there's a bottleneck here. And a fight. And if this fight goes wrong, you can retreat to a city up here and repair, and then you have to make a push into the base. So I could bring up the water here. I could also make the river go this way, but that would look probably weird, right? It would be weird for a river to just be laid out in an intersection like that, like a road would. So let's bring the road down to, like, there. See what that does for us. sliding around here. Another decision I haven't even made yet is if I want to invert the colors of these greens, like have the dark green be the trees and light green be the grass. But I don't know. I feel like the light green is like kind of obnoxious when there's too much of it. Keep it as is? Okay. I think you're probably right about that. Like conceptually, I feel like it should be reversed, but just aesthetically, when I did that, it hurt my eyes. So I think that's more important. I'll cut back on this. If you want darker shade, use the dark blue for shadows on green. Okay. So do you mean in place of these kind of brown edges? What is this? I don't even know what I did. Right now I'm using the dark gray. Are you saying this would be more appropriate, or are you saying if I did go with the darker, the darker green? Is that what you mean? Oh, I think I see what you mean. You mean this, right? It'd be the dark green with the dark blue for the shadow. I could see that working, and then this would become the grass. I could see that. When you showed me the cities you made the other day, yeah, it's weird. It's like until you had told me, I wouldn't have noticed that there were purples in it and stuff. It is really weird how an untrained brain, anyway, perceives stuff like that. It's pretty cool. Let's fill this all in with forest. And carve out I don't like this, but let's just for now pretend that that's where it's gonna go. Let's do something like this. So there's like a little city, exactly one little town here, or whatever it is, town base, I don't know. Something like that though. I don't think I have a tile for a four-way intersection, which is kind of unfortunate. Maybe I want one. I could spare the tile. I think I have a few left. I was thinking about this too. If I got clever, I could actually combine all four of these sprites into one because they're totally non-intersecting, and then just use palette swapping to hide the colors I don't want to draw, right? I don't want to do that yet because that's one tokens and complexity, and 2, kind of a premature optimization, but I could do it, I think. Let some other nerds know what we're doing here. I think I want to do this here. Yeah, I think I want to do this here because I don't want more space to work. I think here I specifically want to know what my boundaries are. And the other thing too, just where this isn't actually a PNG image, I couldn't import this. I would have to like recreate it, which wouldn't be the end of the world. It's one screen, but I think I'll stay in here for now. It would be cool if you could import this. Actually, it seems like it would be almost possible to make that work. I don't think it does though. So what sucks about this? Oh, what you got there? Try to blow that up. Is that grass? Okay. Okay, I see what you mean. I'll try that too. I'll try that too. The one thing I want to do is, I think I want to do, is keep everything simple, because I'm going to be overlaying a lot of information on top of this. Very close up grass, yeah. So I think I want to avoid detail, but I don't know. I don't know. But I see what you mean now anyway, by using the blue for the shadows. That's pretty interesting. It's not what I would have thought. Detail you don't need. Yeah, I think I don't want detail. But again, I'm pretty open to taking experiments here because I don't really know what I want yet. But yeah, so what's the idea though? Is the player would come down and then there'd be a fight here. And if the fight goes wrong, the player can run away. You want that because the doggos? Yeah, I mean that certainly makes sense. Where your scale is more explicit, you know, it's size of dog. For me, like, I've been using these triangles as, I guess, placeholders for my units, and I think I like that. I don't think I'm actually going to try to draw a tank or anything. I didn't talk about this, but like, let me show you, like, in my head what I'm trying to do. Let me here, I'll pull this in anyway so you can see what I'm looking for. So, like, you said example maybe too detailed? Yeah, see, that's... I'm still not sure even what I want, but I think I want the 50, like literally a 50,000 foot view, right? Like a very pulled back kind of satellite view. Because what I think will work best for this game is not any effort to draw pictures of things, but rather symbols of things. Which is why I'm having a hard time finding this image that I was looking at before. But like, I don't know if you saw the Ender's Game movie. Maybe this is kind of what I'm getting at. You did? Okay, yeah. It's like, I don't know why image... Okay, here, right? This is kind of in my head what I'm doing. I'm not trying to draw units. I'm trying to draw a heads-up display representing the positions of units, and I don't know or care what they actually look like. And likewise, I kind of want just like a topographical satellite map rather than like Advanced Wars where it's like, here's a picture of a tree, here's a picture of a bridge, right? I want to imply things. I don't want to draw things because I think, aside from the portraits of characters, I think if I try to draw things with any detail, I'm gonna run out of pixels so fast and it's gonna look terrible. But again, I'm not fully confident saying that, but that's kind of where what my instincts are. Too cluttered. Yeah, right? Like, the other thing too, like, I'm torn on this too, but in my mind, like, I don't want to say I don't care about the graphics, because I definitely care about the graphics, but I think the graphics need to take a backseat to the functionality of allowing the player to focus on the strategy of what's happening. I'm on the right track? Okay. I appreciate it. I'm glad to hear that. Because, yeah, I'm just afraid that if I start trying to draw things with precision, I'm going to end up with, like, a visually confusing mess. Because, like, again, like, already, if you click on an enemy unit, like, okay, you can render their danger radii, and then there's our movement and attack radii, and then there's like different layers of like attack radii. I didn't even show this yet, but like depending on your unit balance, you can like see like where you can shoot now versus where you can shoot at the end of your movement radius and stuff. And there's just like a lot of information that's projected onto this map, and I think if I try to get detailed, I'm just gonna like have a bunch of noise on screen. That's my fear. But let's see. Okay, so what sucks about this? I feel like now this... Okay, well, let's... What I don't want, I don't think, is for the firefight to happen here. Or at least I don't want the base firefight to happen here. I want this to be... hey, Mary. Yeah, we solved that whole penis swastika problem. Bunny, my first attempt at drawing the tile set, I ended up with some geometry that would only form dicks and swastikas. It was pretty terrible. So that was the first challenge to overcome. I don't know what it was. It found like some kind of horrible geometry, horrible math. It wasn't great. But yeah, Mary, what we're doing here, I have these. Yeah, it was pretty funny. I screenshotted it. I didn't share it on stream because, swastikas and shit, albeit accidental. I don't know how Twitch would respond to that, but it was pretty funny. Yeah, Mary, what we have here is when I was designing the tile set and the game and stuff, I made a few maps, but I didn't design these with gameplay in mind, right? Like, I just laid out some geometry to allow me to test the cursor movement horizontally and you know, horizontally, vertically, and in both directions, and then worked out some palette swapping crap, and you know, this is all like everything here was done just to help me test the engine, right? What I'm trying to do now is actually design like the real maps that the player will play, starting with map 1. And the game is gonna be, at least in the beginning, it will proceed quickly because I want to tutorialize the player on the, let's just say there's basic mechanics and advanced mechanics. And map 1 is just here to tutorialize the basic mechanics, which are how do you move your units, how do you attack, and the movement, defense, like every tile will have a distinct traversal cost and defensive modifier, plus or minus. So the first map is just to tutorialize that. And then the second map will be to tutorialize the whole power balance mechanic, which is, you know, the crux of the entire game. And then my map 3, you know, that's it for tutorial. Now it's, you know, straight plot and stuff. But anyway, with that said, map 1, map 1 will just be one screen. This says stage 4, but I'm just doing hacky shit right now while I work this all out. And I'm trying to think of like the flow I want here, you know. And I think I'm going to start the player here, and the intended flow will be we come down around. I want there to be the first skirmish should happen around here, because I expect the player to be bad at this point. And if the fight goes badly for the player, they can retreat to this city up here and repair their units, and then cross a bridge somewhere and fight something. What I don't like now is we're wasting this part of the screen, so I might move this base over to here, and I might just make this water bigger, because I don't want the firefight. I don't think I want the firefight to take place at long range yet. I guess the player like figures out the power continuum and how to adjust it, and they just use the pro strats and win. I mean, I guess I don't care, but that won't be the intended path. But yeah, I think I need to move this base. I think I need to, yeah, I need to like redirect this river so there's a land barrier, and move this city over here. So there'd be like fight 1 would be around here, and then there's the place you can go to repair if you get your ass kicked. And then there's like skirmish 2, and you can still retreat if you need to. And then the final push into the base. And I'm really planning on there being like 3 to 6 enemy units, depending on how good the AI ends up being. So let's act on that, I guess. Could even just fill this out. Yeah, maybe let's do that. And do the roads. And what do we do with this stuff? Do I want... I might put roughen some trees here. I would need 2 tiles for that. And I would need to bring this water up a bit. So now it looks more like 2 land masses, which I kind of like better. I'm breaking my rule, and I'm turning this into like dead map but it looks slightly more interesting? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. The water prevents the long-range firefight from happening. So the player would move down here. Would be a fight. So get the game, well, you have to see it in action. Let me show you. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this does not look great. I'm definitely roughing it right now. So here, let me show you. Like, no, I don't mind showing you the core conceit here. This, yeah. Wait, yeah, I have a commit going. Let me show you. So I'm gonna load in that like fake first map. Okay. So here's the core mechanic, or I'll show you. There's like a basic and like advanced mechanics, and these characters are gonna drive plot, whatever. You know how plot works. So the gameplay will work a lot like Advanced Wars or whatever. You know, you can move, you can attack, you can end turns. One important distinction is that in this game, you only move one unit per turn, or rather, more specifically, you may move a maximum of 1 unit per turn. Contrast that with Advanced Wars or Fire Emblem or XCOM, or basically every other game, right, where you can move your whole team. I did that primarily for algorithm reasons, because it's going to be much, much more straightforward, especially given the pick-away constraints, to write an AI that only has to look 1 unit move ahead versus trying to coordinate an entire army, right? So that's the basic premise, is that you move and attack, and each tile has a different traversal cost and defensive modifier. But now here's like the core conceit, though. Here's like the whole point of the game, right? Again, in basically every tactical game, Advanced Wars, Fire Emblem, whatever, you have different unit types. You have different discrete unit types. But those discrete unit types are essentially like a cute facade on top of a spreadsheet, right? What I'm doing here is I'm throwing away those discrete unit types, and I'm replacing that with a single unit type, but like a continuum of unit stats, which is exposed to the player. So for every turn, you can move and attack, or you can rebalance your power. And again, that's the whole point of the game. Every unit has 3 stats. It has attack power, attack range, and movement range. And you can rebalance these stats, again, at the cost of a turn. So right now my attack power is high, but my range movement is low. Maybe I just need to get across the map, right? So I pull all power from my weapons, I dump it all in my movement range, and then I end my turn. And now I can zoom, right? I can move like way farther. Or maybe now I get to where I need to be, and I don't need to move at all anymore. So I pull all the power from my movement, and I dump everything into attack and range, and now I'm a stationary turret, right? So again, in this game, we don't have discrete units. We have a single unit, but there's like a continuum of units at the same time, rather than discrete units, because we can rebalance our units. The other, in my opinion, cool thing about this is that these power points are also your hit points. So, well, there are 2 things here. These power points are your hit points. Unit is modular, yeah. And also, when you're attacking a unit, you don't just attack the unit, you can choose which subsystem to attack. So let's say maybe this guy, you know, this guy's attack power, or let's say like this guy is getting too close to like some bridge, something we need to defend, right? And we just need to stop him cold. So here, I'll power up my attack to maximum, and then I'll attack this guy. But when I attack him, I can choose which system to attack, right? So I need to stop him in his tracks and block his movement. So I fire my laser. I end my turn. What the fuck? Oh, you know what? Okay, he's still moved. That's because the anime AI is incredibly stupid, and it's just go left, go left, go left. When the real AI is there, it will respect, you know, the stats, right? But anyway, that's the idea, though, is that he would have had no ability to move if that weren't a stub, because I blew out his wheels or whatever. So now, if he needs to advance again, he would have to sacrifice a turn to rebalance his power, to pull from weapons or whatever, and put into his, you know, wheels. So, like, fundamentally, that's the whole game. So that's what I need. I want to communicate half of that information in this first map. And, you know, again, all I'm trying to communicate in this first map is how do you move, how do you attack? And then in the second map, pink-haired girl, you know, affordances John, she's going to explain to the player about the whole, like, power redistribution thing, in addition to progress the plot forward a little bit. So anyway, what I need to communicate to the player in the first map, then, the first real map, is how you move and attack, and that different tiles have different traversal costs, and they have different defensive modifiers, good and bad. And then, again, because this is the first map, it's going to be a single screen. And I'm trying to use up most of the map, so I want the player to take kind of a winding road here through the base. But I feel like this approximate shape isn't terrible. So let's make that a little bit less rough and see where we end up now. Of course, I don't want that. Do something kind of staggered, and there's a forest. I can just put some trees here. Yeah, I'll put some trees here. Yeah, that'll be okay. Because that way, when you start hitting resistance like here, a smart player can jump into the trees. I think I like that. And a stupid player would die here. And then by the time you've pushed the enemy back a little bit, then a smart player is fighting from the city. So that's not terrible. Start the next music here. Okay, so yeah, as like a basic flow, I don't mind that. I might even like drop out one of these city clusters or something. Yeah, because this would be like, there's not, you can't make good or bad tactical decisions when your only choice is to fight from a city. There's no decision to be made if you do that. So I could do that. I could put a small tree section there. Something like that. It seems okay. So a smart player will fight from here. Won't get caught in this dead zone. We'll try to lure the AI out of the city. If the AI ends up being sufficiently smart, the AI won't leave the city. So the player needs to be able to fight from the forest, so it's not a total force mismatch. That's not terrible. Let's clean this up a little. So let's say connect these and make this look a little bit less like garbage. Still looks pretty garbage. Let's do... Yeah, because there's still a choice here. Smart player fights from here, stupid player fights from the road. Well, stupid player fights from the shore, really stupid player fights from the road. Because the road has a negative defensive modifier. Code-wise, normal ground is normal defense. It's just a +0. Trees are +1 defense, road is -1 defense. Then I think there's hills that are +2 defense or mountains or whatever. And then the traversal costs are the inverse of that. So being on the road is great for speed and bad for defense. I think I'll leave that little... Yeah, let's pretend that there are going to be units that start here. That'll be cool. These aren't actually units, but I'm using them as placeholders because I have to actually place the units in code just because of how this is all actually wired up. Also, I'm aware that these tiles in particular look like garbage. Some of the art is okay, some of it isn't. It's kind of all work in progress. Let's pretend that bridge is gonna stay there. Oh, and I'm kind of... Let's see. For the aesthetic, I kind of need a bridge to be 2 squares, which is fine. So we'll do some of that. I don't know, do something like this. It's kind of weird. It's okay. Seems like that would have like an okay flow, I think. So, what are we doing? Seems fine. Have I played Outer Wilds? I have not. I've heard just a little bit about it, but I know basically nothing about it. What's even like what's like the game about or whatever? What's the gameplay loop? What genre is it? Pat says DEF CON. Yeah, I went to DEF CON in person in 2017, then couldn't for a year or two, then COVID wrecked the world. I'm hoping to go again this year, because that's a hell of a good time. I enjoyed it. I used to do, actually, and will resume doing on May 15th, web app penetration testing. There's like hacker shit or whatever. I've written some like malware toolkits that are somewhat popular now, so that's... I'm doing the pick away stuff for fun, but really I'm like a InfoSec and software engineer guy. Yeah, there's so many good DEF CON talks on YouTube. My favorite stuff is by like Deviant Ollam, the physical pen tester. The guy has a lot of really interesting like lock. I'm a bad guy. Is that okay? Is that a specific title of a talk, or what's that? Is that a Deviant Ollam thing? Jason Scott, okay. Yeah, he's the text files guy? Is that right? Yeah, text files. Yeah, he seems cool. If, yeah, Web Archive. He might... Who wrote Dissecting the Hack? Was that him? Oh, Jason Street. Different Jason. But yeah, Jason Street is a cool guy too. I mean, I don't know him personally or anything, but like Dissecting the Hack was like an incredibly good book, even if you don't give a shit about InfoSec. It was just like as fiction. It was good fiction. I read that a long ass time ago. I think for a while there was like, yeah, Jason Street. There was talk about making that into a movie or something, and I think it would have been a good movie. I don't know whatever came of that, but I mean, I'd go watch it. It was really good. One of my kind of favorite things about InfoSec culturally is that there's just kind of this, again, culture of teaching through fiction, and it makes things a lot more interesting than just dry technical manuals and white papers and shit. Because, even if the subject matter is interesting, a white paper is only going to be so entertaining. But yeah, Bunny, if you ever feel like it, you should come to DEF CON. It's pretty cool. Yeah, yeah, probably the easiest way would be to fuck the little person. So yeah, it's advisable not to do that, because I assume the RFIDs are just some ID, and if you know someone's ID, you have access to their account. If those people did that IDing stuff correct at all, IDs are like UUIDs and galactically difficult to guess, but there's no guarantee that anyone did anything right anywhere in the world. It could be plain text, you never know. I mean, like, a UUID would be plain text. It would just be a lot of text. Okay, yeah. I've never screwed around too much with RFID, but I think you can even just read those things off of your smartphone, right? Aren't there just RFID reader apps these days or whatever? I actually just bought a new phone for the first time in like 10 years. I should probably see that. I actually still have my hotel door key from DEF CON up over there. It's like, you know, a Bally's hotel or whatever. Should just read that, see what it is. Unless that's mag swipe. That might be mag swipe. I don't even know. And that's for RFID, even. Okay, the new phone is a Pixel 4a, so it's like last year or something, but it's RFID enabled at least. It's the first like not used phone I've ever bought, pretty much. And I only bought that because that looks like ass. I only bought that because my other phone is so old. Is AT&T was something gonna kick me off the network when 3G is deprecated or whatever. Yeah, no more Captain Crunch style freaking, unfortunately. You're debating Pixel? Yeah, I'm a big fan of it so far. I mean, I'm not really like a phone guy. I don't really care about phones, but this is nice. It mostly gets out of my way, and the Pixel, by virtue of being a Google phone, doesn't have a bunch of like Samsung shovelware horseshit and stuff on there. Your wife likes Pixel? Nice, nice. Yeah, I'm fairly confident. Fairly satisfied with it so far. Looks like shit too. I'll go with that, I guess. Yeah, the crapware is just like offensive. It's like I'm giving you like hundreds of dollars. Like, you don't need to fucking advertise me to me. You know what I mean? It's like I just bought your damn phone. Come on, give me a break. Yeah, right. Which, you know, I'm like not a huge Google fan either, and I'm really not an Apple fan, but yeah, I don't know. Google's kind of inescapable, like it or not. Made an entire button for bloatware, like a launcher, or what do you mean, button for it? That sounds really obnoxious. Okay. By the way, Bunny, this one is more my fault, but you see how it's like, there's something about this geometry that just wants to be a penis. It's like, the new tile set is better than the old, but I still have these problems here. So let's try to like work that out a little bit. You can't reprogram the physical buttons, subliminal messaging. Yeah, I have like no patience for advertising bullshit, so that would be a big reason. Oh, my no slips happening. No slips here. This is just more cursed geometry. Actually, shit, I'm gonna have a four-way intersection here. Should I just make that? I'm probably gonna need one of those. Let me do this. Let me do this coastline, and I'll worry about that. Here, let me not get banned from Twitch first. Let me back out of that. There we go. There we go. Okay. It just wants to be so penisy. Let's like make a little bay. That'll be cool. Yeah, let's do a little bay. That'll be cool. Secret map dicks. They're probably going to happen whether I like it or not. You don't need to convince me. You just need to not point them out when I inevitably do it, and you'll get your wish. I'm just drawing dicks over here all the time. Can't even help it. I'm gonna save this in a while. Okay, and this looks bad. I like this like general flow though. I think this is going in the right direction. Let's see. Bunny, you should link your game. Also, by the way, Bunny, Mary doesn't stream all that often, but when she does, she streams woodworking and wood burning, and she's pretty cool. If you're into any of that stuff. Woodworking or burning or both, Bunny? Do you stream? I never even asked. Yeah. Not trying to steal your butthole. I can confirm. Kelton, I did not. I wish I did. This is a the Epic Commodore C64 SIDS collection. Yeah, no, this is super good. It's like a 10-hour collection or something like that. Let me step away for 30 seconds, hit the bathroom, grab a drink. Yeah, I'll link it to you. You'd enjoy it in full. Okay. Yeah, Itch is a good place for all that stuff. I need to get this thing on there eventually. Like, apparently there's like, it's just like Steam, right? Where you can get people, you know, to follow your game or whatever even before it's done. I haven't done any of that yet, but I'm far enough now where I'm convinced I'm going to have something at the end of this effort, so I should probably do it. You talking about Bunny's text, Usagi's text? Probably not mine, right? Yeah. The BBS is the Pico 8 BBS. Also, if you don't know what BBS means, it's because you're too young, rather than the converse. Okay, so this is... I might need to reshape this a bit. Might just need to pull this whole road up a little bit or something. Oh god, do you want to see a shit post? Hang on. I shared this. Like a few weeks ago. What was this thing called? You have to burn the rope. I think this is the one. Yeah, Bunny, if you're... Yeah, you just said it. If you're a fan of high effort shit posts, that's the game for you. I think, right? Make sure. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. Definitely play that. That's one of the best takeaway shit posts I've encountered thus far. Very high effort. It's kind of weird. It's pretty good. So have you watched all 30 minutes of the ending musical? Because that's like what really makes it work. Yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah, so that's the thing. It's like you beat it in 15 seconds, and then there's like a music video that plays for like 4 minutes congratulating you. It's pretty great. Very high effort shit post. Kind of looks like trash. It's looking like garbage. I guess that's fine. Probably overthinking this. It's like, who cares, really? Sure, whatever. Let's see. Let me get rid of this, too. Maybe I'll move that down one and I'll give the player 4 guys or something. That'd be fine, right? Worth it, right? Tools make it interesting shapes regardless. Yeah, I think they're pretty good. Like again, where I'm going for like a 50,000 foot view kind of aesthetic. I like that I can make shapes that aren't really recognizable as tiles. I think that works out for me. I'm a little bit worried about the gameplay implications of that, because like here's an example. Like I'm gonna change the whole coastline, right? But this tile that I'm on here, right? Should that be a land? Actually, that's not a good one. Well, I'm not using the tile that I'm worried about, but like a tile like this, right, where there's like 2 pixels of land. Should that be a land tile or a water tile, right? You know, in Advance Wars, etc., it's extremely clear what kind of tile you're on. Here it may not be. I don't know if that is a big problem or not, but it's something that I'm aware of and kind of tracking. Because I don't want to confuse the player. Yeah, so that's one way to think about it. But even that gets a bit unclear sometimes, right? Because like, what's the majority here? Right? I mean, like obviously the majority is water. But I don't know. I feel like that should be land or something. It's like, what I've kind of been thinking so far is that if there's even a single pixel of land, it's land. But that's not great either. Or I could just make a judgment call and be like, okay, well, these are land, but like these are land, but these are water. But that's, I don't know, right? I think it's the kind of thing like, I'm going to take a crack at it, have some people play it, and if they complain, then I'll change it. But where the kind of plan is, I'm thinking from like a high altitude perspective, I'm thinking of erring on the side of there being land, because again, the idea isn't that this is a house and the unit is the size of a house. The idea is that this is a city and the triangle isn't a unit. It's gonna represent an area in which there might be a unit. You know what I mean? Heading us out players on weird tiles. I think I'm just going to design maps such that a unit being on one of those tiles won't cause problems. Because really, like, you know, like, when I designed this map, I put a lot of effort into making, or not this map, when I designed the tile set, I put a lot of effort into making it possible to make really diverse coastlines. But you know, now I'm thinking about it in hindsight. I don't know if that's even a good idea because how much like water is really going to be in the game, right? So I don't even know if this is really going to be a problem. Now that said, you know, the problem is most stark when you're talking about like a land and water distinction. But the same problem applies too with forests and stuff because like here, like these squares. So here, these are 5 squares that would have a defensive modifier, like a positive defensive modifier. And I don't know if that would confuse players or not. The other thing I think I really need to do is just add some UI. Like if you look in the bottom right, you see like when you're over a unit, you get like a quick readout of the stats of that unit, right? You know, attack, range, and movement. I kind of want another tile that just says, or sorry, another text descriptor that says like the defensive modifier. But that is a little bit tricky because of pick a weight. Because like if I select a guy, maybe it's not a problem anymore. Anyway, I can, depending on what the context-aware options are down there, I can start to really run out of space. So I need to be careful not to crowd myself out entirely. The other thing that's like unfortunate is that like aligning the text is actually tricky, believe it or not, just again because of pick a weight. And where like some tiles can have like negative defensive modifiers and there may or may not be a minus sign. I don't know, it's gonna be a pain in the ass, right? So I might also try to put like another info bar at the top right of the screen or something that would just display terrain info. Maybe it'd be worth always making explicit like the movement costs and the defensive modifier. I don't know. I need to think about it. That's probably not a terrible idea though. It's just in the very top right of the screen. Put that there. Colors don't take character space. That's correct. Like, yeah, you're right. I could like always show the movement space as an integer, and then if it's a penalty, make it red versus a -1, make it a red 1 versus a blue 1 or a green 1 or something. That is an option. That is an option. But yeah, I may also just put it up at the top and then not worry about it. I don't know. Again, like, it sounds so stupid too, but the reason I like really care about this shit is because, again, I've got 1,200 tokens left to go, I think. Yeah, because 200 would come out. These are unminified assets, but when I link in the release assets, I'm at like 6,700 tokens of 8,100 or something, and I still need to write all the AI. So there's like a lot of work to do, and I don't want to spend like 100 tokens on like, you know, drawing a negative sign or whatever. Defense rating is an interesting idea. I didn't think about that. That's an interesting idea. Yeah, that's a good idea. I know it's like nuts, but the more I think about this, the more I think like I should just go hardcore and figure out how to fit a neural net into the space that I have. Because there's like, what was it, like 10C or something? Yeah, 10. There's this thing, right? A neural net written in C in 200 lines. And if you look at these 200 lines, it is even contains like debugging functions and shit that I wouldn't need, right? So like, okay, if I like really learn my shit, I could probably write something like this. I do it in Lua. All of the code pertaining to building and training the neural net would live outside the pick-a-weight environment. So I'd really only need I don't even know what you'd call it, a deserializer or something for the neural net. I don't even know, right? But the thing that you actually feed in data and like the matrix of tensor weights, right? You need that thing. And you have to spit out a move. And what's like nice about that is like I already wrote all this code, but like if you try to solve this in the classical algorithmic kind of way, you need to implement like A-star pathfinding and crap. Because the AI needs to. You can't just do something stupid like calculate the Manhattan distance of where you are and where you want to go, or like where you are and where the enemy is, and go directly toward it, right? Because like, what if there's like a river or something and that's impassable? So you can't do something like trivial to navigate. You have to use A-star pathfinding to navigate the terrain. And I've already written all that code, but I ripped it out because it consumed 300 tokens or something, 200 tokens. It wasn't terrible. I could make it work if I had to. But if I could write a neural net which just developed like an intuition for that kind of shit, right? Then that's just more code I wouldn't need. So like again, it's like crazy, but if I could somehow work out that neural net thing, one, that would just be cool as fuck and like an instant, hacker legend accomplishment. But two, it would really practically solve some problems here I'm running into regarding file size shit. So I don't know. Really, not file size shit. Character token limits. But there's a lot of reading I need to do between now and me writing a neural net in Pick08. That's for damn sure. What's this? Oh, whoops. Is this something you wrote, or what is this? It sounds pretty good. Is that the dog petting? Pick08 Discord. Okay, nice. Yeah, that was good. I'm gonna. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. I'm gonna have to wade into the whole composition thing, because again, I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, is that the Bomberman theme? I never actually played like a ton of Bomberman. I've played it. Bomberman 64. Okay, yeah. I don't even know if I did play the 64 one. But that sounded pretty good. Redial, okay. Have you come across, what's his name, like Gruber yet on the, like either the BBS or YouTube? That guy's really talented. He's like one of the really prominent Pick08 music guys. Not yet. Let me see if I can find him for you. Check this guy out. He's a talented composer, for sure, but he's also a pretty talented instructor, and I appreciate that about him. Both, with regards to Pick08 composition, but also just kind of the music theory stuff more generally. At different times in my life, I've tried to learn music theory and stuff, but I never had a problem to solve, and like you and I talked about in the Discord, it's like I just have a hard time memorizing like academic kind of knowledge. I really need a use for stuff if I'm going to learn it. So I'm pretty happy to have Pick08 now because I get to actually do something with this knowledge. But yeah, Gruber though, he's an excellent instructor about just the kind of everyday details of how you use the Pick08 editor and stuff, but also kind of the practical side of music theory that you might want to know when you wade into it. Once you learn his name too, you'll see he's involved in a lot of games that you'll see published on the BBS. – Maybe this is like a bay and then kind of a river. Let's make this kind of follow this shape. That'll be kind of nice, I think. You haven't studied the music stuff yet. Yeah, same here. I didn't know which was going to be weakest for me, if it was going to be the visual stuff or the musical stuff, and I'm at least like reasonably satisfied with what I have here visually. So for me, I think the biggest challenge will be the music. Though I think I'll be good at it. I don't know. It's not unusual. In fact, it's even kind of common for programmers to have a bit of latent musical talent. So I'm kind of hoping I luck out there. It doesn't look terrible. I do think I'm gonna like the flow here. And then yeah, I'll put like a guy at this intersection. Or something. Maybe I could have the skirmish be here, even. Yeah, okay, that seems... I don't know why I didn't think of that. That seems natural, too. Make this not just a place you gotta run away to, right? A fallback, but a place you gotta capture first. I think that's fine. Yeah, Undertale was incredible. I played that maybe a year ago for the first time. You know... I'm not at all shitting on the guy too, but the other thing I learned is that like you really don't need like good graphics or whatever, because like the art was cute in Undertale, but I mean you could tell it was like, you know, one guy made something in Game Maker or whatever it was, and yeah, that game like punched like way the hell above its weight class, emotionally and stuff. Yeah. Just gonna bite the bullet and... Oh, fuck. What did that do? Just as a heads up, I think there's some actual bug here in Pick 08. I can never make sense of this shit. Sometimes things will just, like... Like, what is it? Like, what did that? I clicked on this, I hit Control-C, and it said copied 16 by 9 cells. It's like... No? Oh, fuck. But I think this works. I don't even know why I'm copying this. I should just like fucking make it. See, copying pixels works. Copying cells like sometimes doesn't, and then you get in this like weird fucked up state of the clipboard doesn't work. I don't know what's happening. And it's possible that this is like me not working the software right. But that's the only bug I think I've ever encountered in Pick 08. What is this? 1, 2, 3. No, 1, 2, okay. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, I think doing pixel art on Sprite is definitely the way to go. Definitely the way to go. Especially because Pick 08 makes it nice too. You can just trivially import sprite sheets. Now, okay, I'm gonna forget to do this if I don't do it now. What is this? This is Sprite 20 is a road. By the way, just back on the topic of fighting for as much space as I can get out of this cartridge. When I initially specified all these, like, all the cell data, like the tile data, I did this in the kind of obvious way you might expect of just a bunch of table literals, right? But that consumed like 500 tokens or something. I mean, it was ridiculous. So now, you know, what I've done here is I've made... How did I do that? There's like an init method or something. Oh, it's right fucking here. So now, same trick, right? I wrote all this data as literal strings and serialized the data, and then just spent a couple of tokens to write a deserializer that unpacks all this into the table shapes that I want in memory, but I just don't start there in code because, again, token limits. But right here, so my trivial serialization format is an array of cell IDs, then a pipe character, then the cell traversal cost for all of those IDs, and then a pipe character, then the defensive modifier, right? And then you deserialize that here. So what you end up with is the same structured memory as if you had just made a bunch of table literals, but you save hundreds of tokens. Now we have our four-way intersection. Black magic strings, yeah. Here's the real black magic here. I'm declaring stage specifications in YAML, serializing them with code that lives outside of Pick-a-Wait into these big-ass strings that look like this. Just one big gross string. This big gross string contains a serialized representation of all of the data for every stage, including all the unit data, all of the plot text, everything. And of course, I'm not going to look at this file, right? Like, I don't want to fuck with this. But I don't need to fuck with that. And then all Pick-a-Wait cares about is somewhere... Hacks, right? Yeah. Pick-a-Wait is fun, but man, it is a knife fight for, like, character space and token space. But that's, like, why it's fun, you know? And then I forget where I have it, but somewhere I wrote some... I guess it's probably in stage source. Probably here. Yeah, so... Kind of a big function to deserialize that big-ass string, but... You know, that's maybe 200 tokens or something, whereas before, like, every stage would consume hundreds of tokens. So, I mean, it pays for itself many times over. Just a pain in the ass. But again, I don't mind it. It's fun. Okay. What do we have? This landmass... Okay, this is still kind of shit. Let's do something with this. And this is obviously super shit. Let's do something with this. Nope. Fine. Actually, while I had that open, I should just place these units. Let's see. No. Turn on our debugger. So we want a guy at 2-1, 3-2, oh fuck it, 2-1. Two one, 3-2. 2-3. 1-2. I will probably not for now. Where do I want? Let's see. Let's go ahead and put these guys just. Nine. Yeah, let's do 9-12, 9-13, I guess. 9-12, 9-13, and I don't know. Let's assume the AI is competent. So let's say we want, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know, like six AIs. So that's 1, 2. And that would be a fight for the bridge, probably, or they would join in here. See, it's hard to tell because we don't actually know how good the AI is going to be yet. Let's put a guy at 10-6. Maybe I want a red guy here. He's kind of in the base, butt fucking us. We could put him. Do I want the player? I want the player to have a little bit of space to just learn how to move first, which really would be like one turn. So I'll make the first guy here at 10-6, and then I'll put a guy at 10-4. 10-6, 10-4, and then what? Got those guys, then let's do... that'll at least look cool. That'll look kind of like it's like a Skunk Works kind of thing going on. So let's do 3-12, 3-13. Let's do that. So now the player is at a disadvantage, but only by 2 units. And again, I would love it if the AI could just, like, one-on-one kick your ass, but I'm not going to assume that it can do that. Not yet. So let's rip out these placeholders. And we got to build. So this game, I feel like it almost inevitably has the most sophisticated build system in the history of Pico 8 because of all that serialization and shit. So there I just built a new big-ass string to represent this data. Let me turn off that debugging shit. So that's what the actual stage would look like without the deformations, of course. Okay. So what sucks? Thank you. Yeah, it's getting there. So now we can kind of see things, right? So like we can examine our danger radii. So you can see, like, actually even right here, I mean, the player doesn't have a lot of room. This is that thing I stole, like, directly from Fire Emblem. You can toggle the visibility of the enemy danger radius. So, like, if I were playing this, I would check, okay, not a threat, not a threat, not a threat, not a threat. Damn it. I still need to... these controls are kind of shit, still. These guys have really big radii because they're near the roads. So I'm being like, okay, that's your stage 1, right? So, like, if the AI were good, that would tell me that I would want to move to, like, here, right? Because if I were to encroach in the danger radii, you know, like now I'm in the danger radii, but it's my move, right? So I can swoop in and blast this guy. Where if I were to encroach on his radii first, he would get the first move. Because, like, I feel like I'm a reasonably good player at these kind of games. Like, actually, probably, like, very good player of these kind of games. And, I mean, like, skill in these things, I think, is primarily just, like, a matter of staying situationally aware of where the danger radii are, and then just kind of making sure that you only wade into them willfully, right? And if you're really good, like again in Fire Emblem in particular, like for me, like the winning strategy is always defeat to tail. Like you just stick a toe in, you know, to like the big mass of danger radii to like hopefully like only pull one enemy unit or something, and ideally like attack first and wipe them out and don't even get counterattacked, right? It's all about like attacking so hard you don't even get counterattacked. You can't always do it, but when you can do it, I mean, that's just like objectively the best strategy. And this is the kind of information you need to be able to do that sort of thing. By the way, this is obvious too, but the danger radii and stuff reflect, you know, your movement radii. So like you can see I've blocked this guy now, right? So, you know, maybe this guy gets sacrificed or something so I can like bring in everyone behind him or whatever. Not saying it's the right move, but it's a move. Okay, so this coastline looks like shit, and these trees look like shit, and this looks like kind of a dick still. We need to worry about that. But the map, I think the flow of the map is starting to shape up pretty well, actually. So we're getting somewhere. I was a little worried this map was going to be too uninteresting, but I actually think it's all right. Just see these woods real quick. I'm also watching Peach's Discord now. That sucks he's not streaming. I was gonna raid him. Yeah, true. I fell asleep pretty early last night in Riven. It looked cool, but fell asleep though. Make a dick tree. I'm trying my hardest not to do that. I swear though, there's cursed geometry at work here. It just really wants to be a dick. Yeah, it was looking like a lot like a dick earlier, but I think it's now more like a pawn or something. So I'm gonna call that a win for now. Rest assured, there will be other dicks, though. It's an inevitability. A fancy garden. The idea. So I talked at length about this earlier. What I'm kind of going for is an aesthetic that looks like it's a satellite view, like a 50,000 foot or something. So the idea that this is, I don't know, your mobile base or some shit. Roads, enemy resistance, some kind of town or maybe part of the space, and then here's the real enemy base. So yeah, think like this is not this, right? This is not a tree, this is a forest. This is all a forest. It's unfortunate that I have to explain that because I didn't visually communicate that well, but that's what I'm going for. I think I can still get it better, but that's what I'm going for. And the reason I'm doing that is just I do not have many pixels to work with here. I had dark green. Yeah, so that's a little clearing in the woods. Gameplay-wise, the idea is that, the player starts here. This is the first skirmish. So, the player gets in a fight here, and because this is the first level, I wanted the player to have some ability to recover. And in my game, in cities, you can recover 1 energy per unit per tile per turn, right? So I figure you get beat up here. If you need to, you retreat to the city for a few turns, you recover, then you push into the base. And, there's presumably a fight for this bridge. And, I'm trying to design this such that you can play it smart or stupid. And, down here, I'm thinking like a stupid players fight from the street, smart players fight from the woods, smartest players fight from the city. So that, yeah, I'm trying to design a kind of a flow to how the map should play, I guess. And then the reason this big body of water is here is because the enemy danger radii is here. Idiot players cannot fight from the ocean. I don't think I'm going to have boats or planes or anything amphibious in this, just because this cartridge is already about to explode. I'm trying to pack so much into it, and I just don't think I have the space to do that. But idiots can fight from the road, though, because the road has a bonus for traversal cost and a penalty for defensive cost. In this game, those are, I think right now, they're a perfect inverse. So, yeah, idiots are going to fight from the road. You want to move from the road and then fight in the woods or cities. Or grass if you can't do any better. The downside of having a tile set that allows you to make kind of organic looking shapes is that you then must make kind of organic looking shapes or else it looks bad. But I guess that's okay. I don't mind this looking weirdly symmetrical because that's like a man-made clearing, right? So that would be weirdly symmetrical. That's fine. So here's that tile I was talking about. That, right? It's like a few pixels. Actually, I'm not going to use it because it looks bad. Well, actually, I used it there too. Should that be land or should that be water? I think given my rationale I explain, I'm going to make it land, but, you know, I could see that confusing a player. Because it doesn't really look like it's land, or I could at least see the argument that it shouldn't be land. That's true. Idiot savants could modify the source. That's correct. Wait, did we do that one? We did. I think I started on that one. This is a long stream. I'm burning through music here. Don't think I heard this tonight. That's cute. I didn't even notice that. I can make like kind of little pockets of trees. I didn't even notice that. It's going to be a good technique. That's alright. Okay, getting there. I don't know. It's probably fine, I guess. So then let's see, this coast still looks weird. Let's clean that up. I don't really love how that looks. It's not bad. So what, we hop on the road. We fight here. Idiots fight in the road. Smart players hop in the woods. If we get too fucked up here, we retreat back to our base. And we want that because this is the absolute first stage. Oh yeah, okay, right. I didn't even think about this, but this guy is a roadblock, so that's cool. So we blow this guy up. Why didn't he blow up? Oh, I pulled my, yeah, I pulled my attack power. That's why I didn't blow up. Blow that guy up. I need to like all the explosions and lasers and shit are placeholders too. So we blow this guy up. We clear a roadblock. And now this guy's in the fight if he wasn't already, though he probably would be already. Probably. Actually, I don't know how the AI would do that. I don't know if he would or wouldn't be in the fight. But anyway, now there's a fight for this. We're gonna blow him up. I guess I'll do that. He's harder to kill because he's in the woods. He explodes, and now an AI that was more sophisticated than Go left. Can you damage the cities? You cannot. That's an interesting idea, for sure. If I had cartridge space, I might even put that in. But I don't think I will have cartridge space. But yeah, I was thinking about this earlier on. It would be cool if you could damage bridges and stuff. I didn't think about cities. Cities is an interesting idea. But yeah, I would do bridges too if I had more space, because then you'd have a potential way to reflow the map. Do you need to protect your base from red dudes? Yeah, there aren't bases in this. That's something I had given a lot of thought, but again, it primarily came down to the fact that I just don't have cartridge space for it, I don't think. The other thing that made me feel okay about it though is that there are no bases in Fire Emblem. And I fucking love Fire Emblem, so I don't think they're necessary. But they would have been cool. And if I ever do like a more full-featured game in, you know, Unity or Godot or something, I would strongly consider having bases in at least some of the time. But yeah, so then we have a fight for the base. And idiots fight from here, smart players fight from here. You blow these guys up. You fight from the cities. And you win. I feel like that is a fairly competent first map. Let's reload that. More shitposting? What we got here? You never need to apologize for shitposting. Let's be clear about that. Can't. Okay. I've somehow never seen this. I've seen all of Reboot, I think. I've never seen this. Yeah. That's pretty weird. I have no idea. I mean, I can read the description, but I have no recollection of that thing. Apologizing is in your DNA. Fair enough. Fair enough. But yeah, I feel like this is a fairly competent one-screen map. Visually, it looks okay, I think. There's enough here to work with narrative-wise. So, like, Blacksmith, you might have not been around when I was talking about this, but the plot of the game is machines that come to life like a Skynet situation. So the plot here is that this is the DARPA lab or whatever the hell, where they went rogue. So, you know, mission 1 is blow these up, and plot is, oh, thank God, that could have really gotten out of hand. And then mission 2, oh wait, it's getting out of hand. Gonna make a raccoon hat, okay. You'll have to post that in either Peach's Discord or just DM me or something. I want to see it. Let's commit this though. I'm fairly happy with that. It actually went kind of better than I thought it would. Do I... think. For the time being, I'll commit this on this branch, and that'll be it. So what do we have here? Binary garbage, binary garbage. Oh yeah, and Bonnie, did you see what I was talking about in the Discord? Just to be clear, like, you know, regarding how this stuff is actually saved, it's just saved here, right? Like in Pick-O-8, in the Pick-O-8 editor, you can't see it. Like if you're actually in the editor and you scroll down to your bottom of the file, you see this media assets comment, but you don't see anything. Okay, yeah, but yeah, you pop this up in, you know, VS Code or Vim or whatever you're using, and here's where all that stuff is actually stored. So I don't know. I get why Pick-O-8 editor hides it, but I'm not really a fan of hiding anything, usually. Okay. So what did I do? Yes. Yes. Is that how I drew the waifu? Sort of. This is where I could do it. So there are the sprite maps. By the way, this is Outrun. This is a fucking great game. Also, best soundtrack on Commodore 64 IMO. Yeah, so this is where I started doing my pixel art at first. I eventually started using this other program called Asprite, which I can never spell. It looks like this. I probably even have this, right? Yeah. I eventually started using it in Asprite because it's a little bit more capable. Well, actually, a wildly more capable sprite editing tool. And then I just save this, and then I import this into Pick-O-8. But yeah, this is where I actually drew everything. Oh yeah, and Usagi, I missed that. Yeah, you absolutely can see portraits in this. It's neat, actually. Yeah, like, they're very visibly, there are the faces. You get, like... I mean, that's not ASCII art, really, but you like, get that implicitly. It's actually really cool. Like here, right? You can absolutely see, like, there's my land masses and stuff, like... Very visible. It is cool. Oh, god damn it. Did I not amend that? Fuck. What do I want to do here? I don't feel like sorting that out yet. That's going to be a pain in the ass, but yeah, probably tomorrow. I think I'm dropping frames now too. But I think tomorrow I'll sort that out offline. I'm gonna make this like actual stage 1 now, I think. And then merge this work into master, because I'm fairly happy with this. Did that change? Oh, that's one problem I have here. Sometimes it bumps stuff around when I'm trying to change windows. Okay. God damn it. Okay. Yeah. That's not bad at all. So next I need to think of map 2, because map 2 needs to showcase the balance mechanism. So probably I'll force a player to learn how that works by creating some area that you can't reach and must dump power into range to hit. That'll be the core idea of stage 2. I need to force the player to learn how that works. Thumbs up funnel? Yeah, I think so. It'll like, I guess, right? Like what I want to do is like reinforce the lesson of stage 1 and then introduce this concept in stage 2. So the first part of stage 1 will be just like a normal fight, right? You just solve it how you want to solve it. And then, yeah, the new concept will be you have to learn to use power balance and long range. Oh, and I need to put a unit in there. I need to put a city in there too, because you could hypothetically soft lock the game if you took a bunch of damage but then won the fight, and then were not able to dump enough power into weapon range to reach those remaining enemies. So I need to remember that. Avoid the soft lock. And then probably by map 3, then it's like, fuck it. Then I just make maps from that on out, because there's not a lot to tutorialize in this game, right? It's a pick away game, relatively simple, and half of the gameplay elements are going to be like really familiar to strategy players, tactic players. But yeah, okay, that was a long ass stream, but I guess I'll wrap up there for the night. That's pretty good map 1. Thanks for hanging out, guys. I've been tedious without company. But yeah, I'm call it. We will see you all next time. Have a good night. You too. Take it easy, guys.